When you think about the Super Bowl, it's usually all about two things, right? The game itself and the commercials. But this year, in 2026, a third player completely stormed the field. And no, it wasn't some huge celebrity or a new kind of chip. It was artificial intelligence.
And I mean, AI wasn't just a buzzword in the background anymore. It was a straight-up headliner. It moved from the tech blogs to the main stage of the world's biggest advertising event, and it played some really different and honestly fascinating roles. So first up, we saw something pretty wild. Brands weren't just using AI to sell a product, they were using it to actually create the ad itself. Now, that's a huge leap, right? It's one thing to talk about AI, but it's another thing entirely to hand it the director's chair.
And that's the big question, isn't it? Svedka basically said, let's find out. They rolled out what they called the first primarily AI-generated national Super Bowl ad. But what does that even mean? How'd they pull it off?
Okay, so what's really interesting here is how this whole thing was a collaboration. This wasn't just some magic button they pushed to get a commercial. Nope. Svedka and their partner, Silverside AI, spent a full 4 months on this thing. The humans, they still came up with the core story, but then the AI took over the real grunt work, rebuilding their iconic fembot character and then training the models to perfectly copy human expressions and movements. It was a true human-machine partnership.
So the ad, it definitely got people talking, but let's be real, not all of it was good. It immediately kicked off this huge debate about the future of creative jobs, which, is a pretty heavy topic for a party full of buffalo wings and 7-layer dip. It was a really bold, kind of polarizing move for a Super Bowl ad, and it basically forced a very difficult conversation into America's living room. All right, so that was one angle, but then we saw a totally different approach. For another bunch of companies, AI wasn't the creator, it was the product itself. And boy, did they use that Super Bowl spotlight to sell their vision of the future and maybe stir up a little drama while they were at it.
We saw two completely different playbooks here. On one hand, you had Meta, going for that aspirational vibe, showing off its Oakley AI glasses as the ultimate gadget for adventures, with celebs like IShowSpeed and Spike Lee capturing these epic, hands-free moments. Then you had Amazon, which went, dark. They used this dark comedy bit with Chris Hemsworth, who's pretty sure his new, smarter Alexa Plus is actively trying to kill him. 2 ads, 2 totally different emotional hooks to get you on board with AI.
And then things got spicy. Anthropic, a huge player in the AI space, didn't just try to sell its chatbot, Claude. Oh no, it took a direct shot at its biggest rival, OpenAI, promising its AI would be an ad-free experience. This wasn't just a product feature, you guys. This was a declaration of war, live on national television. The response? It was immediate and it was sharp. OpenAI's CEO, Sam Altman, fired right back on social media, calling the ad clearly dishonest. Suddenly, the fight was out in the open, playing out in real time in front of millions of people. And just like that, we're in a whole new era. I mean, we've had the cola wars and the burger wars, but this was something else. This was like the nerdy tech founder version of a celebrity beef, and it was playing out for the whole world to see during the biggest TV event of the year.
Okay, let's step away from the drama and the high concept stuff for a second, because there was a third and much more practical role for AI at the big game, the everyday helper. This is where companies showed how AI could solve real, tangible problems for you and me.
Yeah, we saw this wave of business-focused companies making their Super Bowl debut. You had Ramp, who brought in Kevin from The Office to show how its AI just gets rid of the headache of expense reports. Then there was Rippling, using the chaotic energy of comedian Tim Robinson to make HR actually funny, showing how its AI can onboard a new employee with just one click. And Wix pitched its AI as a simple conversation that builds you a professional website. The message was super clear. AI is here to make your work life way, way easier.
But, maybe the most heartwarming example came from Ring. Their search party feature uses AI in a really clever and, frankly, wonderful way. You just upload a photo of your lost pet, and the AI goes to work scanning for matches and then alerting the entire Ring community network in your area. And get this, the company says it's already helping reunite more than one lost dog with its owner every single day. That's AI with a real-world emotional gut punch.
And his helper role wasn't just about The Office or Lost Pets either. Google showed off how its AI could help you design your dream home. Hims and Hers highlighted how their MedMatch tool uses AI to analyze your health data and recommend personalized treatments.
So from your house to your health, AI was being positioned as the ultimate personal assistant.
So, after all the confetti settled and the last nacho was eaten, what did this whole AI advertising blitz really tell us about where things are headed?
Well, it seems like AI played four really distinct roles here. It was the creator actually making the ads. It was the product, the shiny new toy being sold. It was the differentiator, like we saw with Anthropic's ad-free promise. And maybe most importantly, it was the conversation starter, making all of us talk about the future of tech and creativity. This was the moment. 2026 was the year AI graduated. It stopped being this niche tech topic and became a mainstream cultural phenomenon, right up there with movie stars and pop singers in the world's most expensive commercial break. And that leaves us with a really critical question for the future. We've just seen the start of the AI ad gold rush. But what happens next? When every single company is using AI to create, to sell, to automate, how is anyone going to manage to stand out in all that noise? That's the real challenge that awaits.